President Biden has ended weeks of speculation over who will chair the nation's central bank, the Federal Reserve, amid mounting worries over the economy amid the pandemic. He nominated Jerome Powell today to a second four-year term, and he chose Lael Brainerd for vice chair. We'll get details after the news summary. A town outside Milwaukee is in mourning after a Sunday holiday procession took a sharp turn into tragedy. A man drove his vehicle over marchers, killing 5 and injuring 48. Stephanie Sy has our report.
A child dancing on Main Street. A red SUV hurtles by, just missing her. This was the moment everything changed at the Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin. That SUV stormed past barricades, plowing through a crowd full of little kids, grandmas, and parade performers celebrating the return of the beloved tradition that COVID had canceled last year. This year's parade theme, comfort and joy.
People were crying. I'm sure I saw some people who saw their family members get hit. That really shook me too, because I can't imagine having to see that.
Cell phone videos captured the panicked moments.
He got hit? Yes. Oh my God, okay, take care of him. There's paramedics outside.
19-year-old Jaden Singsime and his mother Jody are still in shock.
It happened so suddenly and so quick, and the truck came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you just hear the sound of people getting hit.
The sound was crazy.
The sound was scarring, and so was the image of it, and just seeing that happen to innocent people and seeing the aftermath, just what goes through your mind is just really pure confusion and anger.
A police officer opened fire on the vehicle, but then stopped when he realized he was shooting near a crowd. Police arrested Daryl Brooks not far from the scene.
I want to dispel some rumors. There's no pursuit that led up to this incident. This is not a terrorist event.
Brooks has a lengthy police record and was out on bail on 2 criminal cases, including a charge that he deliberately ran down a woman with his car. They say he was fleeing a domestic disturbance when he careened through the parade. Brooks faces 5 counts of intentional homicide for each person that died. The victims range in age from 52 to 81. Virginia Sorensen, Leanna Owen, Tamara Durand, Jane Coolidge, and Wilhelm Hospel. Waukesha Mayor Sean Riley faced his grieving community.
I saw all the happy children sitting on the curb. I saw all the happy parents behind their children. Today our community faced horror and tragedy in what should have been a community celebration.
Tonight, a number of children are in hospitals in critical or serious condition, and Main Street is a crime scene. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Stephanie Sy.
A jury in Georgia is set to begin deliberating tomorrow on murder charges against 3 white men accused of chasing down and killing Ahmaud Arbery last year. The panel listened today to prosecutors who painted the shooting as racially motivated. The defense insisted it was self-defense as the 2 sides spoke in closing arguments.
All 3 of these defendants made assumptions about what was going on that day, and they made their decision to attack Ahmaud Arbery in their driveways because he was a black man running down the street.
It is absolutely horrific and tragic that this has happened. And again, this is where the law is intertwined with heartache and tragedy. You are allowed to defend yourself.
Once the state murder case is resolved, the 3 men also face federal hate crime charges. A congressional committee wants to hear from more allies of former President Trump as it investigates the January assault on the U.S. Capitol. Longtime supporter Roger Stone was subpoenaed today. So was Alex Jones, the far-right conspiracy theorist of InfoWars. Former President Trump's longtime personal lawyer completed his 3-year prison sentence today. Michael Cohen served most of it in home confinement after admitting he broke campaign finance laws and lied to Congress. He said he will continue cooperating with investigations related to Mr. Trump. Another major investigation has concluded that former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women. The findings by a state assembly panel reinforce those by the New York State Attorney General. The investigators also say that despite his denials, Cuomo made heavy use of his staff for a book he was writing. This was the deadline for the federal workforce to be vaccinated at President Biden's directive. White House officials announced this afternoon that the vast majority of federal workers complied.
The federal government has achieved 95% compliance, and 90% of the 3.5 million federal workers are already vaccinated. So we are successfully implementing vaccination requirements for the largest workforce in the United States, with federal employees in every part of the nation and around the world.
Meanwhile, a nationwide lockdown took effect in Austria to slow a spike in infections. Other parts of Europe are facing violent protests over new COVID restrictions. We'll return to this later in the program. In Sudan, reinstated Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok said today that he will be allowed to form an independent government. He signed an agreement with military leaders after they ousted him last month. Sunday's deal drew pro-democracy protesters into the streets. They said it just provides a cover for the military power grab. The nation of Chile now faces a December runoff in its most polarizing presidential race in decades. Ultra-conservative Congressman Antonio Cast placed first in Sunday's election, pledging to crack down on crime and illegal immigration. Leftist candidate Gabriel Boric, a former student protest leader, came in a close second. The International Olympic Committee is defending a video call between its president, Thomas Bach, and Chinese tennis player Peng Shuai. The IOC says that she confirmed in the Sunday call that she is safe and well. Peng had disappeared from public view after accusing a former top Chinese official of sexual assault. And on Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 17 points to close at 35,619. The Nasdaq fell 202 points, more than 1%, as climbing interest rates hurt major growth stocks. The S&P 500 slipped 15. Still to come on the NewsHour, why the Rittenhouse and Arbery cases are sparking questions about self-defense laws. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie discusses the state of the Republican Party. Singers, songwriters Robert Plant and Alison Krauss reunite for a new album, plus much more.
This is the PBS NewsHour from WETA Studios in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.